Hey guys, how's it doing? Back at you again with another movie review. Today for The Running Man, directed by Edgar Wright, starring Glen Powell, William H. Macy, Lee Pace, Michael Cera, Emilia Jones, Daniel Ezra, Jamie Lawson, Sean Hayes, Colman Domingo, and Josh Brolin. And this, of course, is the second adaptation of Stephen King's novel The Running Man, first one coming in 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this follows Ben Richards as he is forced to take part in this competition through the television network because it seems as if it is the only option he has available to help his sick daughter and pay for her needs. And so here we are in The Running Man, and he has to survive 30 days, not get caught by the hunters, and make sure that he continues to send money to his family. That's the premise there. And I'm sure that a lot of you are looking forward to this movie. And for those of you who have seen it, I know a lot of people have been disappointed by this movie because I really do feel like Edgar Wright has been on a bit of a downslide. And I just went through all his movies, so I think that this is very safe to say. And first off, I have to say, I do not know how Last Night in Soho made my top 10 of 2021. I watched the movie again, and it's good, but it really has a lot of issues, which funnily enough, considering how much lower I've gone down on that film, I am actually surprised how much I ended up liking this, because I know a lot of people have said that this is Edgar Wright's weakest effort to date. They obviously haven't seen A Fistful of Fingers, but I think that in that regard, it is, yes, his most stylistically toned-down movie. It does feel quite bland in comparison to the hyperkinetic direction and editing that, his previous films are known for. Even Last Night in Soho, you gotta give it points for style, right? But I feel like what this doesn't have in style, you do get to see as it goes along those flourishes, those Edgar Wrightisms, if you will, in the way that the movie is edited. It's not like Baby Driver or anything. You're not getting anything crazy like that, or even to the level of Last Night in Soho. But what you do get is a damn good and entertaining action movie with some political themes thrown in the mix. And for me, that was good enough, because I really do feel like this is a bit underrated, especially in Edgar Wright's filmography. And yes, it is a letdown that his style isn't as prevalent as it was before, but I still think it works here. And I just thought that this was an absolute blast from start to finish. Some of the most fun I've had in the theater all year, which is something I didn't expect to say coming out of it. I thought it was consistently funny. Him and Michael Bacall's script feels, very much in Edgar Wright's wheelhouse, and the way the jokes are written. There's some really great one-liners and gags, but also, a lot of really compelling ideas, even if we have seen them many times before and it is heavy-handed. The movie goes out of its way to make sure that you know what it's about. But even within that framework, I really do think it does everything that it needs to thoroughly convey the story. And also, in tow is its leading man to do that, Glen Powell, who has been on the rise for the past few years. And this guy, once again, absolute movie star. I absolutely love his portrayal of Ben Richards here. He's got the physicality down, he's got the comedic timing, and also he gets to, kind of access his toolkit that he was using for Hitman, per se, because he gets to, dress up in these disguises and kind of transform himself that way. And all of it really, really works. His charisma just carries this movie all the way through. And obviously, he is the standout. But I also have to mention Colman Domingo is Bobby T. For those who know what I'm talking about, a character I never thought I'd see Colman Domingo play. But he absolutely steals every single second of screen time. He is present, which is, no surprise considering how great of a talent Colman Domingo is. And I also really liked Josh Brolin as like the head of this television network. I thought his interplay with Glen Powell was really, really great. And I really feel like that dynamic really comes into play as the movie goes along. And of course, Michael Cera. Always great to see Michael Cera, especially in an Edgar Wright movie. I think that this is the first time they've collaborated since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is one of my personal favorite Edgar Wright films. And he doesn't get a whole lot to do, but when he's on screen, he definitely leaves an impact. Got some really funny one-liners, of course, and yeah, Jamie Lawson is proving how much she's a star. She is terrific in everything. I mean, between this and Sinners, she's having one hell of a year. Always great to see her. And Lee Pace was another standout for me as one of the main hunters who is tracking Ben down throughout the entirety of The Running Man. And so I think you got a really, really stacked cast here. Though I will say Emilia Jones, I do like her as she goes along in the movie, but her character is essentially a plot device. And I don't really think she adds a whole lot to the story. I think everybody has agreed on this point. But I do, like some of the things that she did and how she was utilized, at least within that context, even if I'm not a fan of the character and the writing of her overall. But I think what Edgar Wright does so well in this version of The Running Man, I haven't seen the original one, but he really sets up the rules of this world so succinctly to the point that you understand every single motivation, moving plot point, what have you. It is very thorough in its execution, no pun intended, and I really do love that. It really, I think, for me personally, really drew me in to what I was watching. And the action sequences are awesome. I wouldn't say they're anywhere near the level of Baby Driver. I think that's one of the best action movies of the past, half decade. Or, well, it's been over, a half decade, but you know what I mean. And I just feel like there's such a great kinetic energy, despite the fact that it might feel a little bit more bland compared to his previous offerings. You definitely get some really well constructed action set pieces that are quite memorable and entertaining more than anything else. I mean, what else can you ask for? And so, yet again, this is one of those movies where I was enjoying every single twist and turn that it was taking, the things they set up with these characters, how they came to play in the narrative. But, it isn't like this is something that we haven't seen before. I mean, there's literally a movie from 1987. But I do think that it does work very well overall. I think the ending, without spoiling it too much, I think it does wrap things up a little too tidily, I would say. Even though I do think it is a satisfying ending in some ways, it definitely, well, I don't want to get into it, but it definitely feels a little bit too clean, I'll say that much. Considering how messy the whole situation of The Running Man is within this dystopian world and all the consequences that come from, taking a part in this and how that affects everyday civilians. And it's just really, really fascinating world by one of the most fascinating writers that you could ever ask to adapt, being Stephen King. And this really is the year of Stephen King. I mean, you got Life of Chuck, you got The Long Walk, and now you got this. Those are three really good Stephen King adaptations from just this year alone in my book. So yeah, I really had a blast with this. I'm not saying everybody's going to love it. I wouldn't necessarily say I love it, but I really do think that this is, like I said, an underrated film from Edgar Wright, even though I really hope that he finds his way back and goes all out in the way that he did with Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and World's End, the whole Cornetto trilogy, because I feel like he's moved away from that. And it would be great to see him make a movie with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost again, because I really would love to see that return to form for Edgar Wright, because as much as I did enjoy this movie, there is something missing ever so slightly. But if you are just taking it on its own terms as an action movie, I think you're going to have a great time with The Running Man. I know I certainly did. And I'm going to give The Running Man an 8 out of 10. I know, very high score for this film. But like I said, I just had so much fun watching this, and I really hope that you all do too. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it. I know some people think it's like one of the worst movies ever. Now, come on, it's not that bad. But I would love to hear if you didn't like it and why that is, or if you loved it for that matter. Let me know all that and more in the comments. And please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more movie reviews like this one. I definitely am trying to, still breeze through everything. I gotta talk about Pokemon. That will be coming very, very soon. It has to be this week because I don't know. It's going to be too late to talk about it, I feel. But regardless, I cannot wait to get back on here and talk to you guys again. So stay tuned for the next video and take it easy until then.